I will be analyzing Twisted Timbers at King's Dominion. I will be looking at the ride experience, how it compares to RMCs, and general thoughts about the ride.
I'm OG, y'all new to the game.
Sup, coaster fans? Welcome to my first analysis. If this is your first time here and you love roller coasters, then consider subscribing for some various roller coaster content. So as of when this video was uploaded, Twisted Timbers opened to the public about 2 weeks ago. That means that I can do analyses of coasters that already exist. So Twisted Timbers is an RMC conversion of Hurler with a max height of 111 feet and a max speed of 54 miles per hour. It'll go through 3,361 feet of track, which is actually longer than Hurler, unlike most conversions. It features 3 inversions, a barrel roll drop, 0G roll, and it's first of its kind for a hybrid coaster, cutback. You can find a cutback on the 2 Raptor clones and some other coasters like Dragonfire and Takabisha. And also a surprising 20 airtime moments. Wow. This is definitely one of those coasters that you don't judge by its size. Stats aren't too impressive, except for that 20 airtime moments. So Twisted Timbers is the first RMC to open in the Cedar Fair chain, and the first RMC to open in 2018, with 4 others opening up later this year. It's good that Cedar Fair is working with RMC because RMC is killing it right now, and pretty soon we'll see some other chains working with RMC in the near future. In an interview with Alan Schilke, he said that every RMC conversion will be different somehow. He said Twisted Timbers is different because it was already low to the ground. I heard the first overbank turn was completely redone. Now I don't know what's more expensive, cutting down structure or adding structure. Comment down below. Now the general consensus about this ride is mixed. There are people who say this is the best RMC in the world, people saying it's a middle class RMC like Storm Chaser, and some people saying this is one of the weaker RMCs. In my honest opinion, this is a middle-class RMC. You can compare this to Outlaw Run, Storm Chaser, and Twisted Colossus. I don't know how good the airtime is, though. So if you have ridden Twisted Timbers and experienced the airtime, click the card and tell me how good the airtime is. Now, when you go to the queue for this ride, they did a pretty good job on it. Some people say that the theme is almost a direct copy from Mystic Timbers, which I can understand why, but it is probably one of the better theme coasters I've seen in the Cedar Fair chain. It has 2 sheds like Mystic Timbers, and they're labeled Orchard Sheds 3 and 4, which is cool, because the first 2 sheds are probably Mystic Timbers'. I heard there's a starfish, though, which has nothing to do with orchards. There's also a floating truck, but overall, the theming is very impressive for Cedar Fair. You board the new RMC trains, and someone told me those trains aren't very different, but it is still a lap bar with shin guards. Not a fan of shin guards after one ride I've ridden. There are handlebars for the GP who are scared of this ride. And the wheels that are in front of the nose, I heard makes the ride much smoother. I heard from one person who has ridden most RMCs say this is the smoothest RMC they've ridden. So I'll see once I ride it, but for now I'll just assume. I also heard the lap bars are a little lighter and not as bulky, so that's good. If you have ridden Twisted Timbers, click the card to vote if the new trains are better or worse than the old ones. So to begin your ride experience, you first take a right-hand turn and go up this lift hill. Sorry about the lag for this footage. Then you turn right and go through this barrel roll drop where you reach your top speed. Then you go through this high-speed overbank turn. I don't know if this turn is forceful, but I'm pretty sure it is. Then you go through another bunny hop, this time with a little bit of laterals. Then you go through 3 gigantic airtime hills. I picture these hills to be El Toro-like, but I could be wrong though. Then you go through a bunny hop, but this time it's twisted, no pun intended. And then you go through your second inversion, a cutback. And then you go through another bunny hop with laterals, and then a trick track double up. Now this element looks like it doesn't gradually go up or down. It just stays at one level. I don't know, but then you do one more bunny hop, and then go through this turnaround. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is called a tip-out corner, because if you look at the Storm Chaser animation, that last element before the brakes was said to be called a tip-out corner, but it was removed. Then you go through one more bunny hop and go through your third inversion, a 0G roll. Then you go through some lateral turns, And I really like how you go from the smooth inversion and then a jerk right after it. It's not a bad jerk, but it's a good jerk. Then you go through 2 more bunny hops and then the brakes. Now in the animation, there was this glitch at the end, and turns out they actually stuck with it. But I heard it was because of a clearance thing or something like that. Now overall, I think that Twisted Timbers focuses a lot on airtime, unlike most RMCs, or they focus on bank turns, same with Steel Vengeance, or at 20 seconds of airtime. And I think they did this because the park doesn't really have a ride that has ejector airtime back to back like Twisted Timbers. Same with Cedar Point. The POVs that are provided for this coaster show that it does run pretty sluggish towards the end, but a lot of people say that it was cold at the time they filmed it. Same as the early POVs for Wicked Cyclone, as you can see. It's very sluggish at the end, but if you look at more recent footage, it looks like it's very fast. Same with Storm Chaser. It was running very slow at the start, but then it speeded up as 2017 came around. Until I ride it, I'd say this is better than Storm Chaser, Twisted Colossus, and Outlaw Run, but not as good as Wicked Cyclone, Iron Rattler, etc. So if you have ridden Twisted Timbers, then comment down below what you think about this ride and this video. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to leave a like. And remember, if this is your first time here and you love roller coasters, then consider subscribing for some various roller coaster content. This is 808 Coaster Life, and I'll see you all next time.